So I think that means we've got 12, 9 or 12 to go. One of the ones that has been throwing us for a loop a little bit is two of the stewards. And I think one of the reasons is that on a meta level, you know that the game is trying to mess with you. And I think thinking about that too much is an issue. And that comes with the fact that there's a slight uniform difference between two of the stewards to suggest that one is is the ship steward. However, that one's been seen only with the fourth mate, which leads us to believe it could be the fourth mate steward. This gentleman's a fair bit older, though. But I think trying to think outside the box there is what's throwing us, and I think it's one of these things where the simple solution is probably the likely one, where in pretty much everywhere we see these two, we see this guy, he's with the fourth mate. I don't think the ship steward would be like that. Whereas there's quite a few where this guy's on his own. So we're plucking him in as the ship steward. No, as the fourth mate steward. Which puts this guy as the ship steward. And one of the things we were going to go check was how he was actually killed. Tomb Raider was amazing. We made it. I got through 3 levels. Super fun. Getting it set up though to stream was a nightmare. For those of you that haven't seen this, there's a bunch. The ship turned up in port with no crew. It didn't make it to its destination. It showed up somewhere, and everyone on board was dead, and there was missing people. We've basically got to solve it. We've got this necro pocket watch that'll take us to the moment in time where a corpse died, and so you can see who else was around. It's amazing. This is Return to the Obra Dinn, quick Louis. So he actually died outside. We don't believe he was spiked. We think that might have been a mistake. Because he gets spiked way back here, and then he comes to outside. And he's only bleeding, like he was bleeding fairly badly. Kind of, I suppose, for someone who's not dead. You know, if you're not dead, you don't want to be bleeding as much as he was bleeding. We need to go downstairs and outside. But he gets spiked here and manages to crawl all the way around. Like, he's not dropping large amounts of blood. You know, and the blood's getting smaller and smaller, so almost as if the spike... almost as if the spike was, like, holding the wound in. What's the point of it? We've got to solve the murders.
Someone shoot the damn thing!
I actually think he's been shot. Gareth, who's not here because he's in a meeting, was just saying we should check this one out again because we weren't sure. Yeah, I think he's been shot through the wall. Seemingly a lot more blood now than there was. Oh, hang on. We can't get inside to look at this one. So the best we can do... Who is that? Oh, we're going to have to go back in time. Giant Australian spider, definitely. Someone's got a gun there, but is that the right angle? It kind of is. Or a deflection? But I think... Like, because there's all this, like, there's all that. He's been shot. Whereas in the previous one, he's sort of lying, like he's on his knees down here, and he's got a spike through him. So who do we think that? Who could that... Okay, we're going to have to go back. We'll go back in time. We're in scene... Part 7. Where does he die? He dies in part 6. Okay. Some of the sounds are a bit jarring there. Oh, that's the butcher. He's fully spiked, yeah.
Don't move. I'll get you down.
Have they not got the guns yet? Right, so this is part 6, and this is our guy crawling away. That one they've just put out. I think there's one that's... Yeah. This one's dead. I think there's another one coming in from somewhere. Hang on. Do we know who's upstairs? So who's down here? Well, we just went back one, yeah. So they're kind of in order. So he dies in the next scene, which is a little bit forward in time. Hey Apex, it's good. Let's leave this. I think we have to look at this one again. Unfortunately, we're outside. I wish we could be inside. That might make it a little bit easy. Oh, you know what we can do? We can go to part 8. Okay, so if we go forward in time from here, because there's one there, and we need to find this person. There's 2 people that it could be, based off that. Yeah, okay. So we went back to part 6, but not enough had happened. If we go to part 8... Yeah, the game's amazing. Well, it did a little bit. Remember, it's an older gun, and we're hearing it from out here. And look, there's a bullet hole right there. So it's shot from over there. There's a lot of commotion. What we've heard, I think, the sound is the bullet going through the wood and then spluttering in the body. All right, so part 8 dies. Who is it that dies in part 8? Oh, it's the carpenter? Okay. Where's that? That's down in cargo? It's not that one, is it? No, it's up the other end. I don't need to do this one. Can we not get up here? Is that our boy? Looks like he's got a pole in this one. Man, I was really hoping we could be upstairs for this bit. That's one of the two guys that it could be. I really wish we knew where the other guy... Oh, the other guy that I was thinking it could be is here. And he was hiding at that time with the carpenter and the carpenter mate. So he was staying well away from the crabs. He's a scaredy. So the shooter is that guy, which is minor. The bosun's mate. Ah, got it. We're doing well. Okay, so I think we leave this one and then find out where we want to go and have a look at the other guys. Oh, we're getting there. The biggest issue is I'm not playing it by trying to brute force the last combinations. However, three of the people, we got one of them, are the 4 Chinese topmen. And they don't speak much. You don't see, and 2 of the Russians. We've got mostly everyone else. Martin we don't have to find. Some of them we don't have to actually get. How many have we got left? I should be checking. So loose cargo's done. A bit of cold's filled out. Murder's completed. So we know he was spiked. But he's one of the top men. We don't know who he is. They're the 2 Russians. So we have to work out which one's which. It's one of the other seamen. He's translating. I think he's translating in this one. I don't think there's a Chinese seaman, though. So is he one of the topmen, then? Unless there's a different... I'm gonna have a look at that scene, I guess. But... where was it? That's the other topman who was electrocuted. Yeah, getting these guys is going to be really hard. They're also listed as tough. Yeah, they're 3 triangle difficulty. Not many left. I'm pretty sure we've got the rest of it from there out as well. Alright. So we have to pick one of these guys and try and sort them out. It's the 2 Russians, probably the one we want to try and work out. Yeah, let's find them. Okay, so it's this guy and the other one, the shooter. He's only in 4 memories, it's so harsh. Okay. However, we can go back to one of the sleeping ones. He's on the part of the crew that the second mate took out in the ocean. So if the other guy is asleep during the calling, before the calling, no, he disappears then. And prior to that, we see him in that murder. That's just before he goes out for the calling. And that's right at the start. So if we can check the other guy. Where is he afterwards? During the calling. Okay, so does he go with them as well? Oh, he's out there as well. So he dies out there. Which means we have to identify him before that. I think we can do it from the beds in the... Maybe we can do it from the beds in the bitter cold one. We're not going to know it from loose cargo. Because you can't get upstairs. So we go check out bitter cold. And check the bunks. Alright. So that's from the wrapped body. We can check the second one as well, I suppose.
Sayed? Sayed uठो पी लो
So we've found him. It's these 2 we're trying to identify. Now all 3 of their bunks are there. I don't think their position they're sitting on helps us. I was hoping maybe one of them was only one bunk and maybe they were sitting that side, but both of them are seamen, so that doesn't help us at all either with roll. Where else do we see them? So this guy, we see him here. We also see him there. When's the next time we see him? That one. That one. Yeah, that doesn't really help us too much. Generated 3 days, you packed enough stores, took load myself, good to stay quiet. If the winds pick up with no chance against the Obra Dinn. It's the Formosans talking. So he translates. I don't know. Maybe we can bookmark this guy. That's when he dies. I mean, we can go look at him in the cargo one. I think we have to. We have to go through all of his memories and see if we can find anything that helps. Since both of them die at the same time, there'll be no clues after their death on who they are. Is that the cargo death? We're in the cargo, yeah. Peters. That's one of the guys who has
Wait! No!
Oh, that's that guy. Oh, that's our man here. We also need to do something about him. Nothing that sort of indicates anything. Yeah, he's a barrel pusher. Hey Scott, how you doing, buddy? Alright, so the second memory is this one. Okay. Hoist away, lower away. Comes crashing down. That dude's still standing guard. I think this is at pretty much the exact same time, except... no, tiny moments later. Still no sort of indication on who he is. 29 in Sector 1. Sector 1 there. That's this guy. So there's still no indication on who he is there. Alright. Hey man. So he's joined an elite group of people. Yeah. Only 2 in the world to do all 28. To advertise they're doing all 28, I guess. Alright, so where is his next one? Mark him. So his next memory is the bitter cold. That's the one where they're playing cards. That doesn't help us. The next one's on the main deck, which also doesn't help us. Well, we'll have a look at that one because we can actually get to see him. Alright, so we'll go up to the main deck. He misses his shot. But maybe there's some sort of hint we can find from, I don't know, something about who he is.
Hok Seng Lao, you have been found guilty by self-confession of the murder of Nunzio Pasquale.
Quiet.
As captain of this ship, and by the authority of the East India Company, and thus the Crown of England, I sentence you to death by firing line. Mr. Wolf, when you are ready.
Right, sir. Ready, men. Aim. Fire!
Yeah. So another thing we could kind of learn from here is that he's... Does that make him left-handed? That helps. Is that a clue? What does it mean? Alright. Maybe we can use that somewhere. Rooster. Yeah, there are some slight mistakes, Gareth. Oh, you're muted. That's different. Yeah. If he's left-handed, does he hold his card? Yeah, well, we can check that out a bit later as well, Paul, but I don't know if that identifies who he is. But maybe there's something that does.